Welcome to Statesmen, the podcast where we explore all 50 states with our 5 senses. If you've come here for history, we'll give you some, but most of this is half-baked opinion that is never intended to harm or offend anyone. Today, we paint a picture of the nation's golden udder. Tucked south underneath Lake Superior and east of Lake Michigan, this 65,498.37 square mile member of the Union since 1848 is the namesake of the world's most recent glacial episode of the North American ice sheet complex, which made many of the major changes to American topography that we see today. Human history in America's dairy land dates back to 10,000 BC and is the epicenter of the effigy mound culture, who shaped the earth into thousands of different animal-shaped mounds. European settlers began exploring as early as the 17th century, and by the 19th century, large numbers of German and Scandinavian settlers, among others, began pouring into the state. Today, the state of Badgers is the nation's feeding mother, being one of its leading dairy suppliers. It is also the nation's adventurous dad, being home to bitchin' and badass Harley-Davidson hogs. Today, we're cheesing Wisconsin.
Here come them Statesmen boys again.
I'm your older statesman, Tim Ferrari, along with my junior statesman, Anthony Rossi.
Say cheese.
And Stuart Highcar.
Harleys.
Welcome to the podcast, guys. What's the scoop?
Oh, what's the scoop? How about a big scoop of dairy ice cream, right?
Yeah, I'm excited for this one. This is going to be a fun episode. Just getting the week started. Tuesdays that feel like Fridays.
Oh man, hell yeah.
Yeah, and we're kind of recording on an off day. We're like recording a second podcast for the week.
Would you call it a super secret bonus episode?
No, not yet.
Cool.
Yeah. So, guys, I mean, as always, we talk about how we've been feeling this week, and I'm gonna leave it to you guys. How you guys doing?
Oh boy, what's in the news, Anthony? Can you believe all this stuff with Trump?
Honestly, I would prefer to talk about something else. I'm not really that informed.
All right, not a Trump guy. That's totally okay. Sometimes it's good to stay away from the news.
Decidedly not a Trump guy.
Yeah. All right, so let's move away and
not...
let's talk about Mueller's investigation.
Okay,
huh?
Let's talk about something. Let's talk about us. Let's talk about our friendship. Something a little lighter,
more
to
personal.
Bring this off.
Okay,
Yeah.
sure. Did anybody go through any large life changes this week?
I am playing Spider-Man on my new PS4, and it's great.
Okay, so I bring up some political talking points for us to really show that we're smart guys.
I never have said that I'm a smart guy. I've never said that.
Can I rewind the tape and check that? You ready for this? I'm Anthony Rossi. I'm a smart guy.
I'm Stu Highcar, and
Damn it. I didn't know I got me at the end of that tape.
And I'm Tim Ferrari, and I'm gonna cut this bit at the nose.
Yeah, you could have cut it a lot earlier. It was a good week. Guys, we're heading into the depths of the holiday season. I finished all of my Christmas shopping, and I'm feeling pretty darn good about
You're
that.
done with your entire list?
Yeah, I shop early and I shop well.
Ooh.
That's what they call me.
That's pretty impressive. I mean, we're recording this like in the second week of December, but when we're gonna be releasing it, it's actually gonna be the new year.
Oh, so
Think about that.
I can say what I got for people on this, and they'll hear it after they get the present.
Yeah.
Unless I put this tape out early. Spoil it.
You wouldn't dare.
I'm gonna send it right to your mama.
Mom, I got you a nice pair of those Sanuk sort of slippers. I hope they're comfortable on your feet that you're wearing as you listen to this. Calvin, hope you love that strange music box I got you that you told me to get you. And Dad, I really hope that you like that hand-drawn picture I gave you of me picking tomatoes out back with you.
Oh, that's very sweet, Stuart.
Did you get anything for your dog? Are you a dog gift guy?
Yeah, we give her like a big bone for her to eat while we open presents. Do you not you hate your dogs famously?
No, I love my dogs, and I put a little more effort into it than giving them a bone. I could give them a bone
what does
any
a
day of
dog
the year.
want other than a bone?
Freedom.
You let your dogs go.
My dog's loose.
You open the door and you're like, "Come back by sundown, guys."
Exactly, and if they're not back by sundown, we pretend to be mad and we stay up in the kitchen with a cup of coffee, and then when they walk in, I'm just like,
Do you have any idea what hour it is, young man?
And just get to bed. We'll talk about this in the morning. And then the morning comes and we never talk about it.
You have a horrific and strange life.
Yeah, I'd say so. And that's why I'm playing so much Spider-Man to escape.
Right.
To escape from my hellish reality.
Well, just like Spider-Man swings from building to building, we should swing into a guest introduction. No?
Very good, very good. That's professional podcasting. So joining us on the Statesmen today is he's a fucking hilarious Chicago comedian, and Anthony knows him pretty well. Performs pretty regularly with him.
Yeah, he's a great guy. I've known him for a while. He's also a great podcaster. He's got a podcast with a good guy, Kevin Ruth. But Kevin Ruth's not here today. We've got Spencer Rose.
Hey everybody! Wow, what a swinging transition that was.
Yeah, that was
thank
really
you, thank
good
you.
web slinging
Impressive.
all the way around.
And
Hey,
fill
it's-
up the old focus meter.
The one and only Peter Parker himself. He does have a strong resemblance to Peter Parker.
I
Me?
was me
Me?
or you?
You?
Both of us?
Oh, no.
Oh my
I guess you
God.
could
Two
both
Peter
pass.
Parkers at the same prom?
What we should have gone together.
Yeah, I think generally any white guy of medium build with scruffy hair kind of looks like Peter Parker.
First of all, thank you for calling me medium build.
Hey, thanks.
Thanks. Second of all, I actually was Peter Parker for Halloween multiple times.
You were Peter Parker, you weren't Spider-Man, so you were just
Correct.
like in a sweater?
No, I had a Spider-Man suit underneath a full outfit of like normal
Sweaty.
clothes. Yeah, very. Yeah, I was very moist as a teenager.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's fine.
I've known Spencer for a while. We actually first met in classes at IO, and then we worked together on an indie team, freshman class. Really fun team.
Rest in power.
Yeah, Rest in Power may be coming back someday. Who
knows?
We'll see.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we'll see. And now we're currently on an indie team called Special Counsel together. But I've also been on his podcast Geekout, which is very fun.
Give it a listen out there if you're a fan of subjects,
And
right?
we're just
Yeah.
good personal
subjects in
buds.
general. anything you want. It's just a magical land.
So, Spencer, can you tell us a little bit about your personal connection with Wisconsin?
Oh, Wisconsin. So I'm actually not born in Wisconsin, not technically from there, but I do prefer to Illinois 10 out of 10 times. I went to college in Milwaukee, which is, according to Vogue magazine, the coolest and most underrated city in the Midwest.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Wow.
I know like a
Right?
ton of artists from there who like will not move away because it's so fucking cool.
It's so nice.
Yeah.
In a different life where I never watched Whose Line Is It Anyway, I'd still be living in Milwaukee.
I was going to say, you do look a lot like Colin Mockery.
I know, right? It's especially when I can just bald on command.
Yeah,
which is-
stop shedding, by the way.
It's incredible. It's
I'll
an
put it
incredible skill. Spencer just keeps dropping his hair all over my black desk chair.
Yeah, I'm just, leaving a mark because who knows how this is going to go. But I also spend all my summers in Wisconsin up in Rhinelander. So I've been to the city centers and the bumblefuck nowheres.
So you would say, you would qualify yourself, as we get into this podcast, as a bit of a Wisconsin expert.
I'd say yes. I'd say I'm an honorary Wisconsinite.
Wow.
So where were you born and where did you like grow up?
Glenview, Illinois,
Ah,
and
okay.
Glenview, Illinois.
And
Wow.
I mean, it's probably not all that much of a stretch to say that Glenview, Illinois is pretty similar to other suburbs up in Wisconsin.
oh, for sure.
yeah. I mean, it's just like general white suburbia.
I filmed a student film in college where I took pretty much a tour of the suburbs of Wisconsin. Yeah, same thing. Like,
And
you could just-
where can people get access to this film?
to this film?
Yeah.
That's a great question. You know what? Email me.
Cool,
Send me a
cool,
quick
cool.
little email,
Guys, just go ahead and IM Spencer, and he'll send you that Vimeo link
please.
ASAP.
I'm pretty sure it's unlocked at this point. It's been a while.
All right, well, let's just get into the body of the old bad boy Wisconsin, shall we?
Sure.
So,
Yeah, let's dive right in. Not wasting any time.
not wasting any time. We're going into it. We're trying to get underneath an hour 30 on this one, just because we originally set out to do this podcast for 60 minutes, and
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
we've just progressively just gotten a little bit more loosey goosey with it.
And for those listeners out there wondering, Anthony is out of the penalty box this
I'm
week.
out. I'm free.
And unfortunately, I have found my way to replace him in the penalty
That
box.
glass door is slamming right on Stu's pretty little face.
Let me out of here.
Now-
I'm stuck.
Now, Stu, as a part of your shame, would you like to tell them why you've been put into the penalty box?
Yeah, I was placed officially into the penalty box, first as a political prisoner, and second because apparently my music segment last week was really bad. I received a handwritten letter from an anonymous source saying that I should be ashamed of myself and ashamed of the content that I put on the podcast. So as sort of an act of retribution and redemption, I have locked myself inside this box, and it will be another, dare I say, another week before I am allowed to skate freely again.
Well, maybe another week. This is technically your last episode as per the contract.
Oh my God, I forgot the contract. Yeah, so I signed a contract saying I would only be on this podcast for 10 episodes, and this is the 10th. Next week, maybe we'll renew that podcast. I'm essentially like one of the featured players on SNL. You know, I don't know my fate week to week.
Yeah, you could disappear anytime, but let me tell you, I do feel for you in the penalty box. I think that your shitty presentation might have been a symptom of the state's shitty music scene. So I think that you're being unfairly blamed, but I'm happy to be free. You know, I like to stretch my arms and limbs, my other limbs.
You are very stretchy. Mm-hmm. I wanted to ask you, if you had to call me any SNL featured player who only made it one season, would I be Brooks Wheelan?
No, you'd be like Luke Knoll.
Or Tim Robbins? Or did he make it 2 seasons?
Robert Downey Jr.?
Ooh,
Ooh,
sure.
yeah. No, he's one.
All right, I'm the Robert Downey Jr.
think-
of this podcast.
I think you're you're the Stu Highcar of this podcast because that's certainly your future.
Hey, Lauren, get in contact with me because I can definitely do a year on the show.
I'm gonna give you a snip.
Yeah, if you want, I'll be background players in every single scene. I won't have a line. You can cut away to me, and I'll be frowning at any point. I can replace Keenan like that.
There's no shame in that future, though. That's a great life.
I mean, you should be ashamed of yourself if that's what you did.
All right. Well, let's get to the old. Let's smell this bad boy, huh? So, as always, I'm in charge of the smell section as the elder statesman of the podcast, and so I've prepared for you all. I went to Whole Foods and I was searching high and low for some product to get you, and I've gotten you a variety of things. I'm just gonna reach down into this bag here. Just give me 1 second.
Okay.
I love variety.
Ominous.
Okay, it's very obvious. I mean, the state is Wisconsin. You know, it's America's dairyland. So of course, the smells that I've gotten for you today are a various assortment of cheeses.
Ooh.
Hello.
So in front of us, I'm putting some burrata cheese, some whole milk ricotta cheese, authentic Italian flavor, and all of these will have to be bleeped out, and fresh mozzarella cheese.
Are these Wisconsin cheeses, or are they just cheeses in general that we're framing as being from Wisconsin? I didn't know that going.
The burrata definitely has an Italian flag on the top of it, so I think it.
I don't think it's imported though. It's like a shopping center brand.
On the back, it does say crafted in Wisconsin from pasteurized milk, cream, vinegar, enzymes, and salt. And
Okay, that one checks out.
That's the burrata. This one has a stamp, Wisconsin cheese. So I'm going to assume that one is also a Wisconsin one.
And of course, the ricotta cheese says imported from Iran. What?
Oh, god damn it.
Okay, well, let's eat that one first.
Let's pop these bad boys open. Basically, what I want us to do is just pass each one around, give one a smell, and let's see if we can distinguish some Wisconsin cheeses.
All right.
So Stu's sticking his sniffer into that ricotta right now.
The ricotta from a top-down angle really does look unappetizing. In fact, a lot of these cheeses are resting in their own juices. And
Yeah.
that's just something that puts me off right from the top.
I will defend though the burrata. I mean, that's supposed to be in like a liquidy substance to like keep that cheese moist. And same with that mozzarella. It's just in a bunch of water. Here,
Spencer seems to have gotten himself trapped on
I'm
the
in a mess. I just threw my headphones out of my ears, and now I can't get this thing. I'm gonna have to stab it, but there's like cheese liquid guarding it.
Here,
Seriously,
I'll give you a pen right here. Just stab it in there.
These will not peel back, so I'm just.
Okay, I just want to make this perfectly clear that I very easily opened my cheese.
I'm proud of you.
Yeah, thank
and
you, guys.
disappointed in myself.
You had an easy one, dude.
What, the ricotta?
Yeah, that's an easy one.
A
This one's
famously tough to open cheese.
Yeah, this is an intermediate level cheese. Cheese package.
Yeah, that's like a single Diamond
the
Black.
cheese liquid that's driving me nuts here.
Cheese
Oh, well, just
liquid.
wait until that taste segment.
So I'm gonna be willing. I'd like to start off by describing the smell of the ricotta. It smells like cold water. It doesn't really have a big cheesy smell to me. I really cannot express the fact that Spencer and Anthony have yet to open these cheeses.
I'm getting water
Okay,
all over
I think
my
I got it.
Oh, okay. Oh my god. It looks like a matzo ball soup.
It's disgusting.
Oh, that really is filled with so much water.
This
much
this
cheese
one's
water.
about to overflow. I can't even move the
Just
packaging.
use this wine opener. I can't believe that the smell segment is overshadowed by how
How-
difficult it
by
is
packaging.
to
These
open
could have been
these.
opened going in, but
Oh,
They-
wow.
but then they
Shift
would've-
the blame
Yeah, they
from your
would've-
childlike hand.
listen, I'm a pro cheese opener, and I'm failing on this one.
I got half of it off, so I'm gonna call it a win.
Man, that's
It's the way that
sloshing.
Spencer has to lift up the cheese container as if he was drinking miso soup at a sushi restaurant.
When it's gonna spill, I don't know.
My hands are soaked with cheese
Cheese
water.
liquid. What is this? I'm used to cheese that's just yellow and just covered in breading.
I mean,
So
but this
other-
is gourmet. This is gourmet Wisconsin cheese.
That's all over my jeans, dude. I have to wear these to work tomorrow, man. Come on. Fuck.
I'm sorry.
Why did you do this to me?
This is the smell segment. I'm sorry. This is what we're doing.
I know it's the smell segment. It's not the soak segment. Like,
Hey, man. What do you want me to say here?
Anthony's area on the table is just soaked in
It's a mess.
cheese water.
so great. And look, it's still full. It's still full
Yeah.
of water. I've spilled so much out on myself.
It's like, you know when you fill up a glass of water to the very top and then like with that surface tension it goes a little above the rim and you're like, oh, that's how they package these cheeses.
It doesn't make sense.
Well, other than how soaked you guys are, how do they smell?
You know? Okay.
Yeah.
Nothing too stinky.
It's definitely
You know?
cheese.
My high school had a cheese club where like you would bring in different types of cheeses, and they brought in what's that garbage one that just smells? Oh, Limburger.
Yeah.
So they brought in Limburger, and he made everyone smell it. It was gross.
All right, I'm gonna stick my sniffer in this in the
Please be
pearl of mozzarella. Ugh. Yeah, that's just. I mean, it's just
That's cheese
it's
water,
just,
baby.
Yeah, it's just mozzarella, man.
I mean, yeah, I don't know how far in we can. Should we all taste some cheese water?
yeah, I'll do
Some
it. I'm
cheese
down.
water?
Yeah, I'm down to do
yeah.
it.
I'm hardcore enough to do so.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
I
Tim and
guess
I are
so.
going to take a sip from the mozzarella cheese, and you guys are going to take
We're gonna
sip
do a
of
burrata sip. Okay.
burrata sip. All right,
Nice.
so I'll start. Spencer, cheers.
Cheers.
And this is not part of this taste segment. I just want to let everybody know that this is still the smell segment, but we're just gonna, expand a little bit.
That was a horrible idea.
Well, don't pass it to me then.
I mean,
I'll do it.
wow,
I'm not
yummy.
gonna back out now. I'm not gonna back out now.
Oh,
That tastes like sweat.
oh,
It just tastes like sweat.
Yeah, that tastes 100% like sweat. I really thought I was going to vomit.
Yeah, no,
Damn
that's-
it!
That is.
I'm not gonna
some
try
of
the other one. No
That
thanks.
is so rancid.
Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. What an episode, fellas. Wow, cut the tape.
All right,
Oh my
I-
god.
I'm struggling right now. That is
That was maybe one of the worst things I've ever tasted.
that tastes like laundry water to me.
Yeah, like sweaty,
Oh my
sweaty
god.
water.
It
I
hit
need a
the back
palate
of my
cleanser.
throat
I need
really
a palate
bad.
cleanser, so I'm going for some ricotta.
Yeah.
I just bumped my mic with fervor.
Man,
Oh, boy.
Anthony just stuck a finger in the ricotta cheese.
Oh!
What are you doing? Stop!
God damn it! It made it worse.
Yeah, you drank cheese water and then ate a bunch of cheese. You're just putting cheese on top of cheese at this point,
I know,
bud.
but like cheese usually has like a nice flavor to it, and this one is just like not even seasoned out of the package, obviously. But like, at least
Seasoned.
there's a. Look, shut up! I'm struggling here. I'm
He's
trying
in
to fight back
crisis
vomit.
right now. Cut him some
My,
slack.
my body is going into shock.
We need a palate cleanser, very badly.
Well, we don't have one until the taste segment,
Yeah,
baby.
not until another segment.
Fuck,
Yikes.
I'll muscle up.
Overall, Spencer, what do you think? Try and forget about that sweaty water going down your throat and tell us, how did the smells of these cheese remind you or not remind you of your home state?
So my senses are fried right now. I'm gonna be honest. When you overpower one of them, it just kind of ruins the rest of them. I would say it's definitely missing that dare I say, the zhuzh of some real Wisconsin cheese. Of like, it's definitely, you taste the process. Well, obviously, but it just doesn't have that smell. It's missing the smell.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now is that smell like more characterized by like the grassy feeling, or like what are you smelling in those like good Wisconsin cheeses that you're missing here? Like,
When you
what's that
walk in,
quality?
for instance, if anyone has ever been to the Mars Cheese Castle right by the Illinois-Wisconsin border,
And who
No.
hasn't?
What is that?
it's a whole castle made of cheese. Just kidding. It's made of drywall and building materials. But
Okay, I'm listening.
So is this ricotta I just had a fucking taste of.
they just sell a variety of just insane loopy cheeses. I think they have some sort of like exhibit going on about cheese. It's a staple of the drive from Chicago to Milwaukee.
Yeah, I feel like the smell segment would have been lacking without cheese of some sort. I mean, given that Wisconsin is so
For sure.
cheese heavy.
I mean, yeah, I think if we didn't get to cheese at some point in this podcast, we'd have fans all over America freaking out.
Yeah, there would be riots.
I kind of mentally associate Wisconsin more with like a cheddar-y kind of cheese.
That's
Like
what
a
I'm
nice sharp.
thinking.
Yeah.
Like a
Yeah.
sharp
I'll be
cheddar.
honest, like, yeah, I picture like a cheese head hat. Like, that's the cheese that I
You're right.
associate. Not necessarily a big cup of burrata water.
Of like wet ass, yeah. Like the wet factor really brought this all down. For
Tony,
me.
do you think it's funny if we say burrata water?
No.
Well, I
I'm
guess
sorry to
we
shut
can
you
just
down.
move
I'm not gonna
past
yes
it.
and that.
No,
That
that's
was-
all right.
I'm in pain. I'm in physical pain and mental discomfort at the taste of this cheese water.
What about ricotta water?
Ricotta water works better in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Okay, all
I
right.
like that.
Well, I'll get back to my
Burrata
publisher.
water. I think they're
Burrata
both
water.
pretty good. I will say I did have a cheese this past weekend that was from the great state of Wisconsin that was applewood and hickory smoked. Ooh, now that had a scent that was like, what that smelled like was like. Normally, cheddar cheese smells like the weird kid in class, like the weird kid who kind of smells like cheese at all times. And you're like, ugh, you go to his house and you're like, this is where he gets it.
Ah, the house smells of cheese.
Duh. That kid. But this cheese that I had this past weekend, it smelled like everything on the label, and it was just delightful.
Ooh, like a
little-
candle
Like
almost.
applewood, you kind of like a candle.
I wouldn't mind a cheesy candle. What do you guys think of cheese candles?
No.
I'm not interested. I'm not interested in smelling any cheese after today. I'm really just done.
Cheese is over.
Yeah,
Cheese
cheese is canceled, right?
I'm good on cheese for life now. But I do want to say, like, I'm not that big into smoked cheese either. Like, I think the smokiness kind of gets in the way of the flavor of the cheese for me.
It's all about finding the right one.
I guess, yeah.
Cheese, just like sexual partners, some are too overpowering, some are too quiet. But
Some are
it's-
soft, some
some
are
are
very,
hard.
very hard.
Absolutely.
And let's just be very cautious out there. Let's not cheese shame anybody.
No. Hey, if you're into goat cheese, you're into goat cheese.
If you're into burrata water, yeah, go
You're
for
into
it.
yeah,
burrata
hey,
water.
shoot that burrata water right down my throat, baby.
Goodness.
We were subtle. and
Melt
then-
those mozzarella pearls all over my chest.
I'm having a really hard time, guys. I'm having. This is actually.
I wanna vomit.
This is genuinely worse than when I snorted Tabasco. I'm genuinely like in much more pain and
How
discomfort.
big of a
right
sip did you take? I took like a polite sip.
Oh, I drained it. Yeah.
now. I have
Oh,
a
boy.
huge mouth. Okay,
that's true.
I filled it. I sloshed it around like
I watched you
mouthwash.
gurgle. Yeah.
You just gotta kiss it. You gotta kiss the surface of that water. and
Yeah,
just-
I keep drinking my regular water, my non-burrata ricotta water, and I keep reliving the experience every time. Like it's keeping some flavor on my teeth and on my
Yeah.
gums, and then it just comes back of just.
I've pretty much eradicated this taste out of my mouth.
I
which is
hate
good.
you. Can you pass me like one of those markers so I can just get some other sense going and get my
All right.
mind off this?
Anthony's about to huff markers. So.
Well, while he's huffing markers, let's move on to our next segment, shall we? I mean, what did you? I mean, the smell segment was all right.
You know it helped.
Okay.
Okay, well, let's move on from there.
Let's see. So, as normally, I do a currying of the elder statesman's favor, like whoever has pleased me the most in the episode, and I'm just not quite sure who's done it this time around.
Oh,
So I don't know, Stu. You look like you're already ready, so I'm just gonna go with Stu's audio segment.
Yeah, I need a minute.
Well, to get us started, I want to play you a song. While not recorded or about Wisconsin, it is written and performed by a Wisconsin native and someone who I think really, really represents the state.
Oh, please.
And now Luigi's singing for you why we go rollicking in Radiator Springs. Luigi come from far away from the town of Carsoli, but I have many cousins who have come to visit me.
What the fuck is this?
That was Tony Shalhoub singing Luigi's Rollickin' Roadster theme from the Cars Land at Disney World.
Of course it was.
Tony Shalhoub, of course, a Wisconsin native.
How did we not get that
Monk
immediately?
himself.
Guys, originally while I was looking for stuff to play, I looked up Tony Shalhoub singing, and there's...
just as like a distraction or like
Yeah, well, okay. I was like half hard, so I was like, I should jerk off real quick.
So
I'm looking up Tony Shalhoub singing, and there is a clip from an episode of Monk where he quietly sings to himself in the rain. And if you could make it out, like, it's the saddest thing I've ever seen. But
Sounds hot.
Yeah, so what do you guys think? Do you think Tony Shalhoub accurately represents Wisconsin?
I had no idea he was from Wisconsin. To be honest, a swing and a miss on that one on my part.
On your part, definitely.
On my part, I should have picked it up. I was Googling just to refresh famous people from Wisconsin. He didn't show up.
Yeah. So,
What?
I'm curious, Stu.
Shalhoub wasn't.
What were you looking up to find that?
Tony Shalhoub?
You just looked up Tony Shalhoub and hoped that he was from fucking Wisconsin?
Okay, so I feel like I'm being attacked for my cheese preferences.
You're in the box, man. You're
I am in the penalty box. You're right.
Sinking deeper into
You're
the
right.
depths of the box.
I'm going further into the box, and I should get myself out. And let's just listen to this next track by another one of Wisconsin's native sons.
Dear one, the world is waiting for the sun rising.
Do you guys recognize that soulful fingering on the guitar?
I don't, but it was a bop.
Guys, it's Les Paul.
Wisconsin is known for electric guitars.
Exactly, and he was one of the first guys to really play with that thing. I want to ask you, have you any experience in tickling the strings?
I do tickle the strings.
And do you think of Les Paul as sort of your icon and god?
I would say so. I lean more towards the acoustic nature, like over a nice campfire in the middle of the woods, surrounded by loons and the stars.
Nice GCD
But,
chord progression.
Exactly.
Nice
like,
resolve.
Just a simple one, just, to bring the folks together. But, yeah, no, it's... On Sundays, yeah, I kneel down, I pray to Les Paul.
Les Paul is kind of like the Harley Davidson of guitars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think what's interesting for me is researching some of his music. That was a song by Les Paul and Mary Ford. They were a duo in the 50s for making music, and he would just sort of pluck and play weird electric guitar ditties while she sang in that sort of like classic 50s style, and they were huge. And for some reason in my head, I always associated Les Paul with a much harder rock and roll sound.
Yeah, definitely, because everybody who plays a Les Paul pretty much jams. Like,
exactly.
It's an iconic guitar. I wanted one so badly when I was young, but I also kind of wanted a flying V.
Oh, yeah.
Did you get either?
No, I played the electric bass poorly for several years, and then gave up.
Okay.
After years, did you improve at all on the bass?
Questionable. I could play.
Got worse.
I could play the Gorillaz Feel Good Inc., which is pretty simple.
You just need one sometimes,
Exactly.
and that's your one.
Yeah, at any party that someone pulls out an electric bass, you can blow us all away.
Oh yeah.
This next track is another Wisconsin native, and definitely a song which hopefully you guys will recognize, unlike the first two, I guess, because you're not music fans. Right?
Just play the song.
Go on, take the money and run.
Oh, take the money and run.
That's right. Steve Miller of the Steve Miller Band is from Wisconsin. When I think of Wisconsin bands, the Steve Miller Band, I feel like kind of encapsulates Wisconsin perfectly.
Sure.
Strong front runner. It depends. If you're in Milwaukee, that's the only town you would probably get someone to talk back on that one.
I understand that's totally fair. Milwaukee has a lot of voices coming out of it. You know, the Violent Femmes.
That would be the band that people would probably pick.
Sure, and that's totally fair. But I think Steve Miller Band's dad rock hits and easy listening sort of yacht rocky strings. I mean, like The Joker, Take the Money and Run, Jet Airliner. These are all songs
Fly Like
that
an Eagle.
Exactly. These are all songs that I think that my dad really likes, and I think of Wisconsin as being only dads. So
That's pretty true. Even the like college kids looked pretty much like dads. Like when it was parent visiting weekend, it was very confusing on campus. You never knew.
did you accidentally hook up with a dad?
Yeah, several times.
Steve
like,
Miller. Steve Miller Band's a lot of fun for me. I really like driving to Steve Miller Band or like taking a commute. You know,
I've always considered Steve Miller to be like a rock and roll legend. Is that true?
Doing a little bit of research, he is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He has plenty of hits. He's been around for long enough. He's still alive touring. But I don't know if people inside the rock community think of him as a legend, because I think he kind of stands out as like almost too mainstream in a way. Like,
Yeah, like a little too poppy, maybe.
a little too poppy, a little too easy to listen to.
a little too
and-
right down the middle.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think anyone out there
White bread.
Exactly white bread. He's not Barada Wada, he's milk water. And like everybody enjoys milk, you know? Not everybody enjoys Barada Wada.
That's true. I'd say almost nobody on this table enjoyed the Barada water.
Well, all right. Well,
Definitely no
growing
one
on
at this
me.
table, but
don't speak
Yeah,
for
that's true.
everyone.
That's true.
Sure.
That's very true.
Okay, guys. This next song is again by a band big in the '70s, big with dads, but whom I find myself having a little crush on. Anthony, do you know them? I'd love you to love me. Come on, Anthony, say it. I'm begging you to beg me. 2 words. Come on.
Please, someone else go. I can't recall it.
Spencer,
right
do you know?
it's Cheap Trick, right?
Of course
Cheap
it's
Trick.
Cheap
Okay,
Trick.
yeah.
Cheap
All
Trick,
right.
another band from the 70s that I think are ahead of their time in terms of like their styling. Their drummer is always in a suit with long stringy hair and he's smoking a cigarette with sunglasses on. Their guitarist is in like a schoolboy outfit. Their lead guy is a hair metal guy. Like, this is a band made up of very strange stereotypes that made it huge in the 70s in Japan.
That really don't fit together at all.
They just kind of took the best parts from all of them, didn't they?
Exactly.
Yeah.
They took AC/DC's Page Boy look. They took, I don't know, who wears a suit in music?
Anyone who does ska,
Sure. Yeah, they took the ska scene.
influence.
they preceded ska.
Yeah, and they took Bret Michaels' Poison look for the frontman. And, I mean, they rock. Do you guys...
That's either Cheap Trick or the episode of It's Always Sunny where they first debut the Nightman.
Yeah, they definitely look like a garbage puddle put together,
Oh,
like,
exactly,
of different
yeah.
things. But they have, like, some indelible hits. I mean, like... Surrender is a great song by them, you know. Mama's on.
Yeah. That
Daddy's
one
on.
and this one and then nothing else.
Dream Police.
Oh yeah, Dream Police.
Did Zamorano want to just come out?
It's back, baby.
I wanted to clap back at you, but I'm dying.
Exactly. Those of us who can handle the Barada water are living a much better life. I have one other thing to play for you guys, and this is not a song necessarily by someone from Wisconsin. I can't confirm exactly where Dustin Bogue is from, which is the author of this song, but he wrote a song that I think speaks for all Wisconsin people. And I just want to play it for you and get your opinions on it afterwards. Don't worry, because I know some of the lyrics are good. I picked out the best lyrics from it, and we can talk about them.
He knew how to play through any kind of pain. His playing days are over now, but his legacy remains. It wasn't about the money, it wasn't about the fame. For that boy from Mississippi, it was all about the game.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is,
Come on,
baby.
man.
He's a legend. Come on.
No, I'll give Brett Favre the respect he deserves, but
Yeah.
come on, that
What-
song was garbage.
What are you talking about? This is Brett Favre's song titled "It Was All About the Game" by Dustin Bogue. It has 52,000 views on YouTube, Anthony.
Who's Dustin Bogue?
Huh?
Who is he? Is he a Wisconsin guy?
Dustin Bogue?
Has to be.
Yeah.
With that kind of name, yeah, he is.
With that name, that kind of respect for Favre.
I think I, threw darts with him once. That
I'm
seems
sure
like the
you
type.
did. He's always in the pub singing
Down at
this.
the tavern, and it's like, shut the fuck up.
Can I read you guys some of the lyrics from this song?
Please.
Well, Spencer said yes, so I'm going to get to
I'm the
make it
guest.
quick,
Do
penalty
what I
boy.
say.
In life and in football, he always overcame, drove us down that frozen tundra, always kept us in the game. Never cared much for the fuss, he just liked to play, and he broke almost every record there was along the way. Put that ball aside, take one last leap from Lambeau, and the Packer Nation cried.
Did you hear the new verse he added?
What's that?
Where he was like, it's remember the NFL draft, doesn't matter in which round he was a pick.
I think I know where this is going.
But everyone really glossed over how he sent that woman a picture of his dick.
Yes.
Am I right?
I do.
Well, there's another one too that they just
okay.
added this past week.
Oh, interesting. Okay, let's hear that.
Yeah. Where it's like when he watches videos, he doesn't go on YouTube. He goes on Vimeo. Mm-hmm. This legendary quarterback got tricked into reciting some very anti-Semitic remarks due to an app called Cameo. Did you guys see that?
Yeah.
No.
I wanted to
crazy.
include
Yeah.
this because Brett Favre is kind of in the news.
Yeah, he got
Wait,
tricked
I missed this.
for $400. Somebody paid Brett Favre in this dumb ass Cameo where you can have celebrities just say your name so you can get off on that, I guess. But somebody paid Brett Favre $400 and sent him the script, and the script was riddled with alt-right dog whistles that don't make sense to anyone who's not in the know. And he's reciting off some very, very offensive, like very, very anti-Semitic remarks, and shout out to some sort of.
You don't have to
I'm not
repeat
gonna say 'em.
Stu will do that later.
Okay, Jesus Christ. Just because I think Brett Favre
Unprompted.
is a Wisconsin hero doesn't mean that his weird Proud Boy QAnon shout-outs were... Look...
He had no idea what he was doing.
He had no clue, but he definitely knew what he was doing when he sent that picture of his chubber to that
for sure.
that sports reporter.
I snuck a joke about that into my high school variety show.
Yeah?
But it was very vague because Brett Favre was a character and he was talking on the cell phone and somebody snatches it away and go I thought that the court said you can't have those anymore. And 18-year-old Spencer thought that was very edgy and very funny.
And I bet Brett Favre in the crowd was not too pleased.
He stood up and walked out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really painful. Anyway, guys, so that's the audio segment. I wanted to ask Spencer, how well did I do in representing the state?
You did miss the most, the what I would say a pretty big one.
Who? Bon Iver?
Yeah, it is.
Is it really?
Yeah, he's one of the only aside from I guess Steve Miller. I don't know, but as far as Grammy winners, he might be the only best new artist from the great state of Wisconsin. He has a festival there, a whole day in Milwaukee, and Madison is named after him. I think it's August 21st is Bon Iver Day in Milwaukee.
Whoa.
Tell them to chill out.
I drove up for the For Emma Forever Ago 10-year anniversary concert. It was the most Wisconsin thing I've ever done in my life because everyone looked the same. They're all in flannel, even though it's fucking July. And everyone's just sitting there being like, I love you. I really miss my family and my ex-girlfriend from 10 years ago.
I chose specifically not to include Bone in this segment.
Oh, Boney.
Yeah, I personally find him to just be so depressing and sort of sing-songy. And I recently had a disagreement with him. He was featured, I think, on an Eminem track or something off that new album. It wasn't Venom, and he requested to be taken out of the song because he didn't like the way it was mixed, and he just sounded like a real puss dog to me. So shout out to Bon Iver, who I think was probably the one who paid Brett Favre to say those alt-right things.
Whoa.
You had the time to include a fucking Tony Shalhoub Luigi song.
I barely had the time to include that.
and you wouldn't put in Skinny Love or something just to keep the people pleased?
No. A Luigi come from far away. Did you not like that? I thought it was pretty funny.
I hated that.
Okay, Tony Shalhoub.
It just reminded him of the Barada Wada. That's the only reason why he's mad.
I'm still choking. I'm desperate to get to the taste segment. I'm not trying to harp on this. I'm just genuinely having a hard
Trying
time.
to move the show along.
Okay, well, out of all the records that he broke along the way, how many records does my Audible segment get?
How many records?
Out of all the records he broke out along the way.
I'd say a good majority of them.
Okay, a majority of records he broke along the way. I'm doing pretty good then.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'd
Yeah,
say.
like a 66%.
Yeah.
So like a D.
Like a D.
Like
Okay.
a fucking
yeah.
fat
like,
D.
Like D is passing, it's still good.
D is absolutely passing.
Yeah, you just kind of, you missed the big one. Is all I'm saying.
Speaking of passing D and the big one, Brett Favre's penis. We got right back
Brett Favre's
to
penis,
it, right?
we got it.
Anyway, we
I'm
can
not
move
done
on,
talking about
guys.
Bon Iver yet.
You want what else do you have to say?
Well, Justin and I were email buddies for a
Oh
while,
my
and he said he
God.
was going to read my screenplay. He never did.
Justin,
But he did respond back that he was going to read it. And I'm still waiting for the call, Justin.
is this true?
This is very true.
Do you want to say his email on the podcast?
I'd have to go look it up again, but he put out an email account when he's like, I'm taking a long flight tomorrow, because that's how I assume he talks. It's not, because as mentioned, we're friends. But he's like, I'm taking a long flight tomorrow. And he put out an email account that was like a burner account or whatever. I don't know. He probably forgot the password. Long story short, that was my head was a little big for that week.
oh boy, Spencer once again.
Right? He didn't read my 12-page screenplay that I thought was going to change the world.
Well, what the f?
Yeah.
What
no.
was that screenplay about? Was it about Wisconsin?
It was about webcamming to pay your bills, because lately things are getting a little tough around the
When
house.
you say webcamming, you mean like chat, like like sexual.
Yes. Yeah, very much so.
And where can people find this?
www.facebook.com/live/Zuckercock. That's me, baby.
Actually, speaking of like great website names, there is a Milwaukee guy who I want to give a shout out to. It's Dan Black. He was an old improviser with us at Anthony and I at Loyola, but he's got a great website name, www.banglocaldads.com.
Ooh.
Yeah,
And
pretty
a
good one.
podcast.
And he does have a podcast.
Hell yeah.
Oh, cool.
Is
is
that the
it
Bang
called-
Local Dads podcast?
I was gonna say.
The Bang
yeah.
Local. Yeah, it's like
And-
with 5 or 6 people on it, or
But he also makes some cool videos that come out
Yeah.
at festivals sometimes. So, but
Yeah.
I didn't realize we'd bring him up. But
yeah,
Dan,
well, yeah, just shout
love
outs
you.
to Bang Local Dads. Dan, we love you. We miss you, and haven't seen you in a while. Hope to hear from you soon. But let's move on to the next segment, shall we?
Let's move on.
I think so.
So, I mean, Tony's been waiting a while. We're gonna go on to the taste segment, but first, we've got a little game.
Okay, this is going to be a really fun game. We're going to find out which Wisconsin native we get to hang out with, where we get to do it, and how that time went. So the first dish that I have here, make sure you shuffle these bad boys up. You're just going to grab a Wisconsin native. Do not look, but make sure you shuffle with your hand. I did have to remove Tony Shalhoub from this bowl.
I
You might
knew
have
it.
Noticed that.
I saw you taking it out, and
Here,
I was
just
like, "This
grab one and pass it
motherfucker
along.
knew Monk was from Wisconsin."
So Anthony has brought out a bowl full of scraps of paper, which I assume have names on them.
Right.
Can I
So
read
my
it? Should I read
name,
it?
I'm going to be hanging out with Frank Caliendo. Wisconsin native.
You had to have looked.
I did not look. Frank Caliendo and I'm excited about this one. Spencer, who do you have?
I have Willem Dafoe, who I did not
Ooh.
know.
Wow.
And him and I could probably travel around. If you're playing that video game, him and I will come over and I'll be like, I'll get you, Spider-Man!
I also consider myself a bit of a scientist.
Can you guys do a little Willem Dafoe laugh impression?
You know, hold on. Before we start that, we should do a Willem Dafoe impression as done by Frank Caliendo.
Yeah.
All right, Anthony, go ahead. You're,
So in the Spider-Man movie?
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Any
yeah.
line from the Spider-Man movie.
I'm gonna get you, Spider-Man.
That's not bad.
Yeah, not bad.
Spencer?
Okay, this is Frank Caliendo doing John Madden, doing Willem Dafoe, doing the Green Goblin.
Oh my god.
You ready for it?
I think so.
A real human centipede of an impression.
You and me could rule the world, Spider-Man. First down.
Like, it's multi-layered.
Should we reveal ours and do impressions, or do you guys want us to?
I want to hear you. Who do you have?
Okay. I of course have the auteur filmmaker Zack Schneider.
Oh, great.
He's from Wisconsin? Oh,
Hell
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
he is, baby.
Oh,
And
not a
then I've got Kurtwood Smith.
Oh, classic Red from that 70s show.
So we.
Sounds like you're gonna have a foot up your ass.
So Tim, we have to do an impression of Zack Snyder as Kurtwood Smith.
Yeah.
Okay.
I honestly don't know who Kurtwood Smith is.
Kurtwood
Do you wanna
Smith
pick
is
again?
the bad guy from RoboCop.
And he's red in that 70s show. I'm
yeah.
letting Tim pick again because
boy.
he doesn't know him.
I'm now Mark Ruffalo. I'm
Oh,
hanging out
hell
with
yeah.
Mark Ruffalo.
Oh, cool. So we're gonna be Mark Ruffalo as Zack Snyder.
How about Mark Ruffalo in a Zack Snyder movie?
I can do that.
As
easy.
the dad from that 70s show.
Yeah, you ready? You ready? Hey, you guys better stop playing over there. All around me are familiar faces, worn out places. I told you to stop. Worn out spaces. What'd you think about that, huh?
That was good.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was great.
It was like a.
So that was him saying bad things to his kids while Mark Ruffalo's weird mouth is against the mic and a song is playing.
I think we understood that. Let's move on.
So,
to the
and the
next part
song
of
was sad
All right.
because Zack Snyder famously doesn't know how to show emotion through film. He can only do it through music.
Yeah.
Okay.
That reminded me of the Hemingway short story where he wrote the saddest story possible in 6 words.
Sure. Crib for sale, never used.
Yeah.
All right,
I think
y'all.
it was baby shoes, actually.
Baby
which
for
could
sale?
Be maybe the baby just grew out of the shoes, and they're like, oh, we forgot about these Nikes in the
Exactly.
closet.
Hey, chill out, Hemingway.
So now we're gonna keep the game on track by grabbing from the bowl a location, one of the famous tourist attractions of Wisconsin, and this is where we'll be hanging out with our celebrities. So I'm hanging out with Frank Caliendo at a Brewers game. That'll be a rollicking good time.
Yeah,
That
pretty.
sounds
That'd be
classic.
fun.
Sounds fun,
That
yeah.
sounds like a Fox Sports segment I'd watch.
You can see him do all those like cool celebrity impressions of all the famous brewers that we know.
Sure,
Oh,
but
yeah.
they have to be large, fat, bald men. What are you up to, Spencer?
Willem and I, old Willie, we're heading to Circus World.
Ooh, terrifying.
Ooh, yeah. He kind of looks like a
awful.
clown,
Yeah.
I'd say.
What is Circus World?
Circus World is like a museum of circus equipment and like old circus stylings and gear, but they also have like live circus performances there sometimes.
Hell yeah.
All right, cool.
Sounds rad. Zack Snyder and I are going to be spending an afternoon, a romantic afternoon, at the National Railroad Museum.
Thrilling.
Very thrilling. Great trains.
Yeah.
Once more.
You know, there's a huge train segment in the popular movie.
Train spotting.
No, what's that Zack Snyder movie, guys? The girls are in it. They're
Watchmen?
No,
Sucker Punch.
Sucker Punch.
Oh.
Damn.
I kind of blend all the Zack Snyder movies together. I really don't like him.
What a different opinion,
Zach,
Spencer.
if you're if you're listening, buddy, it's not working.
Tim?
I had Mark Ruffalo, and we're hanging out at the bitchin' badass Harley Davidson Museum.
Hell yeah, brother.
Oh,
Been
so
there.
I
Been
c-
there twice.
I think Tim and I are winning so far, but it all comes down to this. All right, I before we dive into reveal how the time went with these celebrities.
Wait, so the
at these
third
locations.
thing is just how good the date is?
Yes, and there's a little detail on there.
Okay.
So how do you predict yours would go? I think Frank Caliendo and I would actually legitimately have a good time entertaining each other and doing bits in the audience of a Brewers game.
Yeah, I have no doubt that you and Frank Caliendo would be good friends.
I think so.
Yeah,
You looked at me like that was an insult.
No, I was just trying to figure out whether you meant it as an insult. I think he seems like a pretty fun guy.
Yeah. How do you think yours is gonna go, Spencer?
I think it'd be good. I think it'd be going well, going smooth, and then I think Willem would probably be like, no, it's like this, and then he'd step up and start doing the clown shit. And then, he'd walk me to my door. We'd share a tender moment. He would pull out, his cell phone and be like, can I get your number? And I'd be like, no. And then I'd stand there for a little bit and then kiss him anyway. And that's the end of the date.
You tease.
I know. I'm a bastard.
Don't look at this. I just shuffled up the results. Don't look at it before we reveal.
No
Stu,
problem.
how do you predict
I
this
think
would go?
Zack Snyder and I are gonna have a pretty good time at the National Railroad Museum. I think he's kind of a freak, and there's nothing freakier than a mode of transportation from days gone by. So I think we're gonna find a lot of comparisons there, and I might just give him a little kissy kiss on
Nice.
the train tracks.
Tim?
Well, Mark Ruffalo and I, we've been kind of on the rocks lately, and We're trying to do this Harley Davidson museum as a way to rekindle our relationship. But the thing is that I know Mark Ruffalo is not a Harley guy. He loves Yamaha.
Imported trash.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm going with we're going to have a good time together, but not in the most ideal location for Mark Ruffalo here.
Okay. All right. So now it's time. So one by one, we'll read our results live. So I've got Frank Caliendo at a Brewers game. We have a horrible time.
Oh, man.
We get into a damaging verbal altercation. The bridge is completely burned. TMZ reports it. Everyone takes his side, not mine.
Oh, ouch. And that's
Yikes.
because your George W. Bush impression was just so flat.
Yeah, and you know, America's sweetheart, Frank Caliendo.
Look at
for it.
Anthony
Try
trying
it.
to...
I can't. Mission accomplished. I'd say.
And the entire Brewers Stadium died.
Yeah, they fucking boo you and throw beer at you. Spencer, how'd your date go?
And first of all, it takes a lot to get Wisconsin to boo you. So you had to have fucked up.
Nice
bad.
job, Anthony.
The only time I've ever seen a Wisconsin crowd boo, normally they're super nice, is when this opening band came out and was like, we love Milwaukee. It's like a little Chicago. And everyone goes, boo! And then nobody paid attention. I think someone threw a good old-fashioned PBR on stage at them as well.
Damn.
Yeah, they do not like that comparison. Yeah, Willem and I at Circus World, you two have a bad time. We left quickly, Willem left quickly, and I'm in a sour mood. So I fire up the old webcam, I sit in front of it, and I just let my anonymous suitors tell me how I'm pretty.
I'm so sorry, Spencer.
Yeah, I mean, that's rough, especially because I kind of felt like your date was set up to work.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, being at Clown World, it's almost a shoe-in.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I was pretty excited to give Zacky Zach a kiss on the tricky tracks, but we have a good time, nice and fun, a time well spent. We write on each other's walls for birthdays, but we never hang again.
Wow.
That's like all of my college friends.
Yeah, unfortunately, I have a feeling that Zach's probably the one who ghosted me, and he dipped out early on our relationship, just like he dipped out early on the Justice League movie.
Yeah, he's busy fucking up more comic book movies.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm pretty sure it's because his daughter died and he needed time with his family, Spencer. But it's really cool of you to make light of that.
Shouldn't have walked into
Okay, so I really need to pick me up. You know, I've been a little bit down, and I need to have a good date. I just need to go on a good date. So I'm gonna unpeel my piece of paper here, and I'm gonna read it off. You two have a neutral time. Meh.
Ouch!
Maybe you should have stuck with Kurtwood Smith.
Yeah, he would have been the life of the party.
You would have had
Yeah.
a great time. Guys, successful game. What would you give that game on 2 feet up someone's ass?
I'd put both foot up my ass, Eric. I mean, your ass, Eric, not mine.
Eric, I want you to put your foot in my ass.
Put your foot up my ass, Eric, and your weird friend, too.
The beauty of this game is we can just shuffle and go again.
I don't want
No. Okay, so that was a great game, Anthony. I will say you killed it on that one. I had a great time.
You killed it. You dismembered it in your apartment. And hell, you ate some of it.
Hey,
Yo, Jeffrey Dahmer.
Speaking of Wisconsin,
Now
Frank,
let's
please forgive me.
eat some stuff from Wisconsin. Except it's not something we're gonna eat. It's something we're gonna drink.
Oh, shit.
drink.
So I've gotten you guys all cups that we're gonna pour this little stuff into, and I brought you guys a little Wisconsin delicacy, some fat cranberry juice.
Jesus
Slammed it under the table, almost folding it in half.
So I'm gonna pop this bad boy open, and we'll just pour it into our little glissy glasses.
You know,
here.
I got excited because I thought it was going to be a beer of some kind.
I thought it was a beer of some
I
kind,
was
too.
100% sure we were going to get to drink some beers together, but instead it just feels like I have a urinary tract infection, and I'm hanging on the couch with my mom drinking crayons.
Nothing is wrong with cranberry juice. It's one of the best drinks out there.
It is
I'm so
quite
excited
delicious.
to get the taste of cheese water out of my mouth, finally.
Well, go ahead and take a sip of that. Cranberries are one of Wisconsin's biggest exports besides cheese.
And it's delightful.
It's certainly cranberry juice. Very good, very tart, very sweet, and it hits the tongue in the perfect way.
Coats it. Loves it.
Anthony, how did it do?
I like that a lot. To me, it's not overwhelmingly tart or overwhelmingly sugary, which is something that I find like that's a fine line for cranberry juice. And I think this one's right down the middle. I'm not going to shout the brand name out, but Wisconsin, good job.
It's it tastes a little bit watered down to me. I'm usually akin to an Ocean Spray cranberry juice, a lot more powerful,
Real
but
in your face.
real in my face, really just cleaning out my my taste buds. But this is a little bit more watered down for me.
I'm definitely used to a cranberry juice that will, back it up and sit it right down on my face. But this one is just is teasing me from afar. Maybe across a webcam, right?
Yeah.
Stu's the horniest person.
I'm not horny at all.
So horny.
I'll put my shirt back on if this is going to be weird.
Yeah,
guys.
I'm sorry, but like Spencer's been showing off rock hard medium build body, and I can't stop.
That's because you ask every guest that comes into our apartment to take their shoes and shirt off.
Yeah, as a precaution.
It makes sense. I was all on board. I didn't question it for a second.
Yeah,
I'm
I
only
think-
now realizing it might not be normal.
Yeah, and I'll admit, when some of the Barada Wada went down your body, I was like, maybe I licked this stuff up, huh?
Maybe.
Maybe I do. Maybe
So
I jump
Spencer,
across.
how do you feel about that cranberry juice?
Cranberry juice is delightful. I had a cranberry framboise once, which we all know is a fruit beer. And that was delightful. This is reminiscent of that, except I might keep all my motor functions at the end of it.
You're pretty famous for drinking and driving, right?
Oh, yes. Around town, they go, here comes trouble. Them Duke boys are at it again.
And then you come screeching down the street.
What I think is screeching, in reality, several accidents have occurred.
Well, I'm gonna be real with you guys. I couldn't muster up my strength to do something to this week. So I really just kind of caved in and bought this cranberry juice. I couldn't muster up the time.
Tim, I think you are becoming a victim of your own hubris. You started, and with a lot of hard work and effort, you baked us some delicious things, you cooked us some delicious things, and now that you're realizing that it's tough to do on a week-to-week basis, you're buying things and bringing it in, which I think is probably where we should have started. But you unfortunately, your first performance. You're an Orson Welles, a person from Wisconsin.
Hell yeah.
Your first film was the greatest film of all time, and now you just have to figure out how to match it. And
Right. You set the bar too high.
the other side of the cranberry juice is what you've just turned into.
But Tim, I'm really not. I want you to know, as your friends and fellow statesmen, we support you. No matter what you bring to the table, you bring a lot. You help steer the ship. You have like that nice firm hand on the wheel, and we appreciate you. No matter if it's like a B or C minus product.
As long as it doesn't get down to a D where I am, I think you're doing just fine.
As the guest on the show that you just admitted you're kind of phoning it in for, I'm honored.
No, I phoned it in on a Georgia episode too, where
Okay.
I just got cranberries and pecans, and I just feel the same way as I did when
It's
I
the
got
cranberries. You got to look at what's in common there. Cranberries just don't agree with you.
That was blueberries, to be fair. Tim's just got crayon
yeah,
on the
yeah,
mind.
yeah.
You got crayon on the mind. Well, didn't I bring over some Pabst Blue Ribbons like 3 days ago to this place?
You
that.
did.
That's true. They are sitting in the refrigerator.
That
if you
is
want me to go
another
get some of those.
Wisconsin
Yeah,
classic.
let's go bring those out so
Yeah.
they have time to warm up by the end of the podcast.
That's a really
And
good
that's how
point.
you're supposed to drink them. They taste like pee at that point. And like, but if you're drinking PBR, you drink the first couple fast, and then by the time you're like chilling with it, you don't need to worry about that 3-minute window.
Do you guys have any funny acronyms for what PBR could stand for? Not acronyms, I guess.
Like instead of Pabst Blue.
Yeah,
Ribbon.
I mean, what does PBR stand for? Do you think it could be Pussy Boy Reverse, which is like a fun thing to say to someone in the club if they're trying to get up in your shit?
Hey, pussy boy. Oh no, in a bad way. Okay.
Yeah, it's like someone's jumping up on you and trying to grind, and you're like, Pussy Boy, comma, reverse.
Please be radical.
Oh, that's a fun one.
That's a good one.
What do you,
Cheating
Spencer,
to make
what
the
do you
V.
think?
Pause Boston recording. Just really put it on ice for a while.
Guys, we're getting too many podcasts out of Boston.
All right, so I just brought out a 12 can pack of Pabst Blue Ribbon, some PBR, established in Milwaukee in 1844.
Hell yeah, brother.
Quite interesting, and yeah, I mean it's probably America's most well-known Wisconsin beer.
Also, most well-known piece of shit beer. which
Yeah.
is what I like to say.
Yeah, but it is a damn good piece of shit.
It
beer.
is.
It's my favorite cheap beer. I really like drinking it when I'm, just at a party or something.
Now, Stu seems to be onto something. He's poured the
Ooh.
cranberry juice inside of the Pabst, and I think I'm going to do a little bit of the same with that. Okay.
Uh-oh. This episode's all about funky liquid choices.
Yeah, it's all about funky liquids, baby. It went down the wrong pipe, but I'll say it tastes pretty good. It's sort of like a fun summery version of a classic Pabst
Summer
flavor.
Shandy.
yeah, it tastes like a shandy.
Is a classic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Weinenkugel, another from
Oh,
Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin.
Oh, man, I really fucked this
It's
one
another
up,
one.
guys.
Yeah, Wisconsin's beer thing. I was gonna go. I literally was minutes away on Sunday from driving up to the border and getting some spotted cow for us,
Ooh,
which is
hell
another
yeah.
classic that's only found in Wisconsin.
you could have went up there and bought us some fireworks too.
Probably could from Phantom Fireworks right next
Ooh.
to the Mars Cheese Castle.
Do you guys have a Phantom? You have Phantom. Do you have Black Cat?
Ooh, no.
Okay.
Maybe the only ones I see on the way up are Phantom. There's like 2 Phantoms and like one other one that closed.
There's one called Crazy Eddie if you're heading into Indiana, and the mascot is a man in a straitjacket setting off fireworks.
Which is much like most of Indiana.
Yeah, I mean, like, hey, good on you. But anyway,
All right, yeah, that was the taste segment, a pretty lackluster taste segment, and I really apologize.
Not at all. We
Spencer.
discovered the cranberry Pabst Blue Ribbon delightful combination there.
a CBPBR.
A CBPBR.
All right, well, let's move on to the next segment. So Anthony has prepared a visual presentation for us, and we have it up on the computer. So Anthony, take it away.
I'm talking about Wisconsin. What you got?
Talking about Wisconsin,
All
everybody.
right, so we have the first slide. It just has Wisconsin with forward, the state slogan.
I think my diploma was written in this font.
Yeah, looks
Yeah,
great.
great font choice. Finally working for once. Let's hit that. That is the state outline. What does that look like to you guys, Spencer?
See, everyone calls Michigan a mitten, but I'd say Wisconsin's like the mitten that maybe got fucked up in the dryer, or the mitten that you dropped in the snow and you just picked up.
I think it kind of looks like a mitten if you took it off by biting the top of the thumb part and pulling
Yeah.
it off.
Yeah.
Like the thumb is stretched and kind of warped, but you still have that hand part there.
Or it's like mid-wave, like a nice friendly wave.
sure.
To ya.
Hello. Like a nice friendly Wisconsin hello.
A friendly people from a friendlier time.
Now, I've never seen this show, but I do know the character design. It looks like Grandpa Simpson.
Okay,
does.
You're gonna have to explain
Okay,
which part.
so the top, the northwest of the state
Yeah.
is the back of his head, and then towards the right is like his rounded eye, and then the jutting out arm is his bottom lip, and he's kind of going like.
Okay, Tim, I'm gonna be 100% honest. First, you said you've never seen The Simpsons.
I legitimately have not
Second,
seen.
right, we went over our Mount Simpson more, and it was a fucking disaster. But I can't see what you're seeing, but power to you for seeing it.
I don't know how you don't.
I definitely see it.
Thank
yeah.
you. Okay.
Next slide. We've got the Wisconsin flag. This slide's going to take 20 minutes. It is a busy ass flag.
There's a lot going on.
Too much going on.
Why is the Arm and Hammer thing on the side? That's a detergent brand.
I can tell you exactly why. Let's break it down real quick.
Okay.
We have Wisconsin in a very plain text up top. We have 1848 on the bottom. As with most state flags, that's the year it was inducted as a state.
Which makes Pabst Blue Ribbon 4 years older than the state of Wisconsin.
Shit.
I bet Pabst Blue Ribbon's always giving Wisconsin noogies and spitting in its ears.
All the time. All the buses in Milwaukee are decked out, like painted as PBR, like different designs. They have artists like draw all over it and stuff, and it's really funny when you see it driving by.
Then we have a ribbon with forward on it, the state slogan. Underneath that, we have a badger. Then we have a sailor and a miner holding up a shield that has a ton of stuff on it.
Anthony, that guy's definitely over 18.
Oh my god.
But it is a miner with an ER to symbolize the extensive mining. So let's run through the shield real quick. We have a plow for agriculture, a pick and shovel for mining. The Arm and Hammer stands for manufacturing. The anchor is for navigation, and that is the U.S. state seal in the middle there. And then on the bottom, we have a cornucopia for prosperity and abundance. and to the right we have 13 lead ingots, and all of that was ripped pretty much verbatim from a very specific web page, and I apologize. And I would like to say that I did donate to them recently to keep them going, so I feel entitled to their information.
If I had to bring up anything that I find strange on this, it's the need to put the two guys on the side who represent trade and mining, and then also have those as symbols inside the shield, and then also have 13 pieces of lead on the bottom.
Right. So Wisconsin's very industry based, very heavy on unions, except for that rat bastard Scott Walker. Hiss, awful. Who is also, his claim to fame is the only governor to ever survive a recall election in 2012.
That's right. I remember that. People were up in arms about his...
Yeah, because he passed Wisconsin Act 10, I think it was called. Wisconsin's a long play. But he passed something that busted up unions, pension, health insurance, and a bunch of other things that human beings enjoy.
Need and like.
Yeah, that things normal people like for civil servants. So teachers got hit particularly hard from it, and that was insane. His kid went to Marquette at the same time I did.
Oh, I bet that kid got bullied.
That kid got the fuck off campus the week of that election because everyone was going like, fuck your dad! And like, not in the fun way.
Whoa.
But
yeah,
like,
not in the fun way, like,
yeah.
hey, you should maybe fuck your dad.
Hey, you ever thought about fucking your dad? But Scott Walker was, Marquette likes to claim he went there. He did go there for like 2 years before dropping out.
What a fucking loser.
Bob Odenkirk dropped out after 1 year at Marquette.
Oh. So do you think Scott Walker was a funny sketch writer until that second year at Marquette?
They got into a big disagreement, and then that's it.
What Marquette dropout do you
If I had to pick which Marquette dropout I would be.
All right. Guys, thoughts on this flag? As I said earlier, I'm going to put my foot down and say it's way too busy.
Yeah, way too much going on, way too many symbols. You know, it kind of looks like the wall of an Egyptian tomb with all these hieroglyphics on it.
I think the thing is, like, how do you have so much going on and none of it is visually appealing or interesting?
It looks like one of those models, like a Civil War, like miniature model kind of a thing. You know what I mean? Like the people that they place inside train dioramas.
Oh, yeah. You know, played famously by Steve Coogan and Owen Wilson in Night at the Museum. Those
Obviously,
guys.
yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
I like it.
Really?
Is what I'll say.
Interesting.
It does have a lot going on, but how many states are bold enough to put their name just right on the flag?
You would be surprised.
Really?
Having seen a lot of these flags, so they make some poor design choices
Yeah,
all the
are
time.
really trash.
I can't wait for the New Mexico episode. They've got a cool flag.
One of the best flags. We'll get there, and I don't want to tip my hat too quickly, but
Yeah.
god damn,
I
what
don't
a
think
flag.
I've seen it yet, so
Oh,
I'm
baby,
very excited.
get ready
get
to
there.
friggin' shoot.
Let's go on to the next slide, though.
You're going to bust when you see this flag. You're going to bust harder than Scott Walker busted those unions.
Heyo, hiss. Fuck you, Scott Walker.
Here we've got the state flower, the wood violet, a very plain purple flower. What are your thoughts on that, Spencer? Does that represent Wisconsin to you?
Well, my inner Sylvia Plath wants to say, yeah, it does. Very much so.
By the way, take your head out of that oven.
Thank you for catching not only the
Come on,
reference,
get back here.
but also my emotional state.
No problem.
I like it. I have not seen any of those in the wild at Wisconsin, and Wisconsin does have a lot of great wild. But no, never seen it in real life. But I like it.
It's one of those flowers that I feel like I see everywhere and I feel like I see nowhere at the same time. It just looks like a flower to me. Just like a 5-petal flower.
Anthony,
classic.
can you tell me again what's the name?
Wood violet.
Yeah, I mean, I would. Guys, I'm on fire right
Cut
now.
the recording.
I'm slide for slide, absolutely hitting dingers.
Let's go to that next slide and see what you can do with this one.
Okay. Oh no, it's a
we-
sexy bird.
We've got a robin, the
Oh,
state bird. What a pick. You know, that's a universal bird, I'd say. Like
Yeah.
you see that bird everywhere. It's like a national symbol of springtime or fall, whichever one, I can't remember.
Probably
Guys.
both. I mean, they live in both times.
Yeah, they come and go as they please.
Yeah, but you got the red breast, the brown back. Everybody's seen a robin at least once, I'd say, and it's a good bird.
Robins they're bastards. I'll say it. They're not.
Wow.
Yeah, they're bastards. I'll take a stand on it. We had a robin that nested in a wreath on my front door, and I don't know if it's the same in Wisconsin, so forgive me. But in the state of Illinois, likely the same in Wisconsin, when a robin lays eggs, it becomes a protected animal. So you can't touch it anymore. And so we weren't allowed to use our front door for the entire summer because anytime you got close, the bird would dive bomb right at your head to protect its babies. I don't give a fuck about its babies.
Yeah, whatever happened to self-defense?
Exactly. Like, or if I want to go up and just bop it, I can just bop it. It's my fucking house.
Yeah, I agree.
Hey guys, normally I'm all on the side of freedom and that kind of thing, but hey, let's not beat the shit out of these birds.
They have cool eggs at least. Like they're nice shade of blue.
A
Robin's
nice
egg.
blue's egg, much like the famous breakfast spot outside of the city of Milwaukee in Waukesha, I
Oh
believe.
shit! What a poll.
Yeah, is there going to be a
Thanks, guys.
picture of that?
No, there's not. Any thoughts on the robin?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a solid bird. I think it would be a solid bird for any state to choose.
Sure.
It's just, I think the problem when you get into these like big picks, like a robin or a blue jay or those kind of things, I associate them with the country in whole, and I don't specifically associate them with a particular state. So I think it's a little bit generic, but a strong pick no matter what.
Wisconsin is well known for genericism, just being generic. Across many all things, a Wisconsin 10 out of a 10 is an easy 6 out of 10 somewhere else.
I mean, you've got a ubiquitous bird, you've got a pretty ubiquitous flower, and you have a pretty ubiquitous Grandpa Simpson shaped head for a state, which is pretty interesting. I mean, that's
Famous for milk.
it's all encompassing in its blandness.
It's boring. It's the weird kid in class who smells like fucking cheese. That's Wisconsin, but he's cool and everyone likes him.
Yeah, it turns out he's pretty deep. His dad just makes cheese, so
Yeah.
everything he has smells like cheese.
But his uncle murders people. Are we going to talk about how many fucking weird murderers came from
yeah,
Wisconsin?
I mean,
Stu
I don't
will.
know if now's the time, but while I was doing research, I mean, we can talk about Ed Gein, we can talk about Jeffrey Dahmer, we can talk about
Stephen Avery, another
Stephen
fun one.
Avery, murderer, probably.
He's definitely a murderer.
Really?
That's
So?
the thing. Talk
Wow.
to anyone from Wisconsin, they glossed over a lot of things about him. He was a fucking weirdo.
He was a weirdo, but I think they do. All right, I guess we'll get into my take on making a murderer finally. Brendan Dassey, guilty. Stephen Avery, not guilty. Period.
Wow.
Brendan Dassey?
hell?
I've never heard that before.
Yeah, that
And it's
seems like a
fake.
fucking
And
lie.
It's fake.
No, it's not true. He was taking advantage of that poor kid. And I mean, Stephen Avery probably did it, but
He definitely did it.
I don't know. It definitely also seems like that police department was really shady.
Well, yeah, they wanted to nail him because he had done many other weird things that they just forgot to mention, like public masturbation and like weird stuff like that, where it's like they presented him as being this sweet little innocent pudgy dough Wisconsinite guy. Nah, he was always a fucking weirdo.
Spencer, you know you're representing yourself on this as a pudgy white guy weirdo who's publicly masturbating on Facebook Live.
What happened to the fucking medium build? Okay. Okay, now I'm upset.
All right, let's go to the next slide.
All right.
I did live right by where
Before we-
Stephen Avery was kept.
That's crazy. Did you ever visit him?
A couple times, conjugally.
Good to hear.
But I also lived a block away from Jeffrey Dahmer's house.
His apartment, the apartment building?
Yeah, they destroyed it. Marquette bought it and destroyed it.
Yeah,
So
famously.
do you think that there's anything about the Wisconsin environment that could be factoring into what makes these people killers? Or do
What
you
makes
think
these
that's
people
just
want to
random?
cut people up and wear them and or eat them?
Yeah, why do you think there's such a high volume of these fucked up serial killers or killers in general?
Wisconsin has such a unique geography from that standpoint where if you look at it, it becomes most apparent around elections where Wisconsin could go like in 2012, Wisconsin went blue for Obama. But if you look at the map of the counties that voted, there's like 2 blue spots with Milwaukee and Madison, and the rest of it's all red. So Wisconsin is a very widely spread out population outside of those 2 cities. So just weird shit happens that just nobody learns about because like outside of those 2 cities, a lot of people live and die where they're from. That's it. The end. They're born there, they die there. That's Wisconsin.
I'll admit, though, doesn't that sound like a much easier life?
That's it.
Could you imagine, like, meeting someone in high school and being like, well, out of the 5 people I met, you're certainly going to be my wife.
Yeah.
And that's just your
That story
life.
happens all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a great little town. I mean, Rhinelander, Wisconsin, where I would go very far north, the best. It is the best small town in America. I will fight someone on it.
Okay, coming from a small town over here, you can have that.
Okay, cool. They have the myth of the hodag. Are we going to touch on that one?
I'll fucking talk about the hodag right now, unless you
What's
have
the
a slide
hodag?
coming up, Anthony.
I mean, I have several more slides, but I'm fine putting it on hold to find out what the hell a hodag is.
Okay.
So the hodag was invented by the settlers of Rhinelander, who were
We don't know if it was invented.
True. Very true. We don't know. We don't know if it's real or fake. But the hodag was a story they created that this creature, this green beast, it's on 4 legs. It's got big spikes, a long tail, huge teeth, piercing red eyes.
It's like furry and lizardy.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so the townsfolk made that up because fur traders would come in and just be assholes. So to keep them out, they'd be like, you don't want to go out there. The hodag lives out there. You don't want to go out there. And they would believe it. They even would put up fake pictures of, they would make model ones out of like deer skin and stuff like that. And they would take pictures as if they had captured a hodag. And now it's the high school mascot. He was a villain on Scooby-Doo once.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's
Right?
pretty
We
cool.
made
That's how you.
Scooby-Doo.
That's how you know you make it big, man.
Yeah, and it's
Mummies. Big shout out to Mummies. You made it.
Gold miners.
exactly.
Creepers.
I just read something too where Heisman, the guy they named the trophy after,
Sure.
is buried in Rhinelander.
Oh, wow.
Probably a hodag.
Do you think you'll be buried in Rhinelander?
I actually would not mind it. I would go up there all the time, and some of my best memories of my entire life would be there. I would not mind being buried in Rhinelander, like scattered in the lake there, so all the like little campers can swim in me. That'd be cool.
Wait, so why did you
Okay,
go
hold
up
on.
there? I'm
What?
sorry. I think I
Wait.
missed something.
I would go to summer camp up there every summer.
Oh, okay.
For like 2 or 3 months and just live up there.
We're just gonna pass over the fact that Spencer's dying wish is to be swum in by children.
It's not just restricted to children. Anyone can swim in me if they'd like.
As long as they're under 18.
All right,
What? No.
let's reel this back in. Wait, hey,
You made it
skip the
weird.
slide.
All right, what are we
we have 2 badgers on the slide. One is a real badger, a nice chubby little guy, and then we have the University of Wisconsin badger
With a nice medium
side by
build.
side. So which badger would you prefer to hang out with?
Honestly, the one that isn't the University of Wisconsin badger. That badger looks angry, like he's gonna beat me up for talking to his girlfriend at a bar.
That badger looks like kind of a douchebag.
Yeah.
He does. Yeah, he definitely would claim that badger for sure has said, "Do you know who my father is?"
Yeah.
At least once in his
Actually, I
life.
get prima nocta, all right?
I bet he says, Badger. I hardly know her.
Nice,
Jesus.
nice.
We have Milwaukee right here. A nice skyline view. We have some water in the foreground. What do you think of that skyline here? We could make our thoughts pretty quick.
Beautiful.
You picked a good skyline picture.
Absolutely. I don't think anyone can claim that this is not the right angle to look at the city from.
You know what? I could claim that's not the right angle. To look at the city from.
Interesting.
We're missing the art museum in there. The art museum is the crown jewel. Actually,
It's
is it
actually
in there?
right there in the front.
I can't see on
So-
that bad angle.
Oh.
But never
Don't
mind.
worry.
All right,
Don't
I take it
worry.
back.
We have a slide devoted to that on the next slide.
Ooh.
That is the Milwaukee
Wow.
Art Museum. It's one of the largest museums in the U.S. It's got a collection of almost 25,000 pieces. And it's actually a combination of 3 different buildings built by 3 different architects. Who were they? Which architects? I could not tell you, but
That's fine.
Isn't that like top piece like movable? Doesn't it like move
Yeah,
like wings?
It moves throughout the day. It's wings. It goes up, and then you can watch it throughout the day, fold out and fold back in.
That's
at night.
fucking crazy.
That's awesome.
Very cool. Is
It's-
that to block the sun in this area?
Could be, or just looks cool. I'm not
yeah,
sure.
I
think
The
it should just
functionality
be a
of it
bird.
makes sense.
This is a gorgeous building. It's right on the waterfront. I mean, like, Milwaukee, way to fucking hit it out of the park with this one.
Most underrated and coolest city in the Midwest.
it does
According
look
to
so
Vogue.
cool. I was looking at some downtown shots as well, which kind of got on more of a street level and showed you more what like it's like to walk around the city. It looks so gorgeous. It looks like wide and spread out. It's got like the good parts of Chicago. You have a horizon line everywhere you go, but it doesn't look quite as busy and jam packed. So I think it's a cool place.
Yeah, it was never very crowded. And there's also another fun Milwaukee fact. There's a club called the Ladybug Club, which is an all ages club Or maybe it's 16 and up or 18 and up.
Oh, we're
Don't
familiar.
worry.
Is there a pool there for you to swim in?
You mean for them to swim in?
Yeah, spread their ashes in the
no,
pool.
but it's famous for a couple years ago. A guy went in. I don't know if this is true or just conjecture, but allegedly a guy went in there with needles in his jacket that were full of blood that carried the HIV virus, and he went around stabbing people with it.
What the hell?
Dude,
Yeah.
what the
Another
True.
Wisconsin
That-
sicko.
Another fucking
I am not
weirdo.
joking. That is a fear that I've had since I was a young child. I
And
don't
it
know. I
happened.
don't know who put it into me, but someone told me that homeless men with AIDS were just putting dirty needles on the underside of gasoline.
I heard that too.
Yeah, and it's like that never fucking happened. This is just someone who's like, AIDS is scary and you should be scared of it. Like just making me afraid that what fucking human being?
Right, AIDS panic has been blown out of control.
Rest in
forever,
peace, George
forever.
H.W. Bush.
Oh my. Let's go to the next slide.
All right, yeah, next slide. Here we have the Milwaukee Public Market. It's food in local vendors. It's a really nice market space, just like a fun place to walk around, try a bunch of different stuff. It looks very cool and inviting, welcoming. You can see kind of the foot traffic there, the bustling nature of it. Spencer, have you ever been, and what did you find there?
Multiple times. Big fan. I did a story on the guy that ran the T-shirt vendor stall for like Wisconsin and Milwaukee merch. One of the most interesting people I've ever talked to in my life. Just classic Wisconsin. He kind of looked like Guilfoyle from Silicon Valley.
Martin Starr.
Martin Starr, yeah, but like no charisma at all.
Martin Starr.
Oh, come on.
I was gonna say give the guy a shout out, but
I
took him down.
I don't remember his name all the way. I can go find the story. He was just fascinating. But yeah, it very much mimics Seattle's public market. There's even fish tossing in the back. Not nearly as far, and you'll just hear, "Oops, sorry about that," every single time. Like,
They got bad hands.
yeah,
there.
when it's like
Stop
crowded,
throwing them.
when there's too many people in there, you just hear like just a symphony of people going like, "Oop, can I sneak by you? Oop, oh, sorry, oop, oop, pardon me, oop, right behind you, friend." Oop.
Man, you say "ope" anymore, you're gonna have to finish it with Gangnam Style, huh?
Ooh,
Let's go to the next slide.
Here we have Madison, a very boring-looking city.
Whoa.
but it's in the middle of
Overrated.
the water.
You think so? I think that looks like King's Landing or some bullshit
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
crazy. The fact that it's surrounded on at least two sides by water is awesome. I'm a big fan of these sort of peninsula
Yeah,
cities.
but the city itself looks kind of drab. I don't really like it. Maybe I have to go there. I did kind of get on the city level. I think the main attraction of this city is probably the university because that's where it's housed. But you can see the Capitol building here, a pretty familiar shape, kind of like the U.S.
Standard.
Capitol building. Not nearly as exciting as some of the other capitals we've seen. It's right there, Tim. No. Up further.
No, I see it. I just disagree with you on this being a boring city. I think this city looks fucking cool.
It actually is very cool. It's sandwiched right in between two lakes. Or is it the same lake? I don't know.
Yeah.
Your call. But it is very neat where the Capitol sits dead center in between the two of them. And yeah, it's a city on a hill. So the Capitol's at the top of the hill and everything kind of flows downward. And the entire city revolves around a circular road that surrounds the city, or the Capitol rather. And I drove there once during a severe rainstorm. Where the cops were getting people off the streets because of the sloped, like every single
All
road
the water was
became a
going-
waterfall. Yeah, it's a nice city. I do think it's overrated. I think people tend to jump to it because University of Wisconsin-Madison is not only very important to the city, it was one of the reasons why Wisconsin became a state in the first place. It was in the state constitution that the higher education was supposed to be a very, very high priority for the state.
Isn't that ironic, Scott? Yeah. Scott Walker.
God damn it, you are so well read. You're really impressing me.
I love Wisconsin.
Bookworm.
The University of Wisconsin system as a whole is actually very, very well formed out. There is University of Wisconsin-Madison, which would be the big one. University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, which actually is a phenomenal film school that they put a lot of money into. And there is University of Wisconsin-La Crosse, University of Wisconsin-Kenosha, I think. Or no. There's not one in Kenosha, but the La Crosse is another good one. There's another one up north, but they very much put higher education and the state school system into place. Aside from Scott Walker, I think the country could learn a lot from how Wisconsin values things.
Well, listeners, why don't you tell us what your favorite University of Wisconsin chapter is? Just name any city and put University of Wisconsin in front of it, and we will see it.
And it works. True.
All right, so
Next slide.
I'm getting the move along symbol from Tim, and that's totally fine. I want to keep it a little clippier. Here's a nice snapshot of Green Bay, kind of like a storybook, like Anytown USA kind of feel. Not that interesting visually, kind of flat, but we do have the cathedral up front. That's the St. Francis Xavier Cathedral, and that is a pretty interesting looking building. The inside's beautiful, but I did not put it in the slideshow. I did, however, put another Green Bay church in this slideshow. So hit that next slide. Lambeau Field, baby. The oldest operating NFL stadium, active since 1957.
Hell yeah.
And still standing to this day. They just did their most recent edition in 2013. And, you know, by all accounts, a great place to watch a game. Have any of you ever seen a game there?
I have.
I have, unfortunately not. It is on my bucket list of things to do. I've been a Packer fan since I was a wee child of 3 or 4, and boy, just looking at it makes my tummy tingle.
Yeah, it's Packer culture is so insane in Wisconsin to the point where don't wear a Bears jersey outside on a Sunday, or you're just gonna get into a Wisconsin-y violent conversation where it's just like, oh, nice team there, eh? Or whatever. They're not Canadian, but pretty close. But yeah, Packer culture is insane. Like Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers are held up in very, very high regards, despite the anti-Semitism and penises of Brett Favre.
Yeah,
and
and
Aaron
I
Rodgers
mean-
not calling his mom after the California fires.
You know,
What's
there's
up
a
with
lot
that?
going on in there, and I think Aaron Rodgers' brother is a dick. But
He is a dick.
I mean, we can all agree that, I mean, Brett Favre told us how to withstand the pain, and this kid from Mississippi was only there for the game.
Exactly.
So yeah, like an all-time great football stadium. Let's move on to the next one. Here we got a water park in the Wisconsin Dells. Just a fun retreat area. Lots of summery activities, lots of tourist traps, but also a place that locals might go just to get away during the summer and cool off. There are a lot of theme parks. There's a haunted ghost ride on the waters where you just like take a boat around and people jump out at you and go, ah. There are hodags wandering around out there.
Hell yeah, brother.
Is this just a picture of a hurricane harbor?
No, this is Wisconsin Dells.
Oh, okay.
It's a water park.
Okay.
And it's, if I'm not mistaken, Spencer, this is where you want your ashes to be scattered?
Yes, please. Put it down the toilet bowl at Noah's Ark. That'd be cool. Noah's Ark, the largest water park in the United States. Actually,
Damn.
probably the world, because we do everything bigger.
I'm going to go ahead and
Baby.
disagree with you. I'm pretty sure the largest water park in the United States is actually Water World in Colorado.
Oh, the Kevin Costner film? Is that where they filmed it?
I think.
Jesus.
Have you ever been to the Dells? Have you ever taken a slide on one of those little zippity-doos?
Ooh, I've taken a slide. Yeah. You guys ever been down a toilet bowl in your life?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They kind of hurt.
Yeah, you know, if you do it wrong.
All right, let's go on to the next slide. This is Door County, a peninsula between Green Bay and Lake Michigan.
The Cape
Very
Cod
naturally
of
beautiful.
Wisconsin.
Yeah, seriously. There's like just, you know, some nice autumn colors here. We have a little cliff with some trees on it and then a nice person kayaking in the foreground there. It looks like a nice little getaway here. I think that looks like a beautiful place to just get outside and experience some nature.
I agree.
Much like the next slide, which is going to be Devil's Lake State Park, the largest state
Wow.
park in Wisconsin.
Gorgeous.
Beautiful.
And there is like a signature rock formation there in the foreground. There's like that nice reddish rock. And then looking out on some lush green and then a nice deep blue lake.
I will say, I know we're trying to speed through this, but I did get lost in Devil State Park once. There's actually a train track that goes through there. No trains run through there anymore, but there is a train track that surrounds the whole thing on one side. Well, so not the whole thing, but on one side. I did get lost after climbing up that said formation up there. It had just rained, so the rain path made it look like the paths had converged into a fork because it eroded like a path into it. So we took the left way, the road less traveled, which ended up was not a road, and we got stuck up there and had to climb down one of those signature rock formations in a very dangerous manner.
That sounds horrifying.
Yeah. Scary.
We thought we were lost and we didn't have any signal, but it was fun. and I hope that person's doing well.
Next slide. This
Okay.
is the Apostle Islands National Lakeshore. There's 21 islands in Lake Superior. There's actually 22 of them, but only 21 are included in the lakefront. Once again, that signature reddish rock, topped by some green. It looks interesting. There are some old lighthouses there if you're into that sort of thing.
Oh, yeah, I am.
But let's move on to the next slide. Just get right in and out.
I stayed on Bear Island and Sand Island when I kayaked in the Apostle Islands up in Lake
Nice.
Superior.
Do they all have one-word noun names?
Kind of for what's on there. Yeah, Bear Island used to have a lot of bears on there. Sand Island has the biggest beaches. There was one called Bee Island, but we didn't go because there was some freak who had a bee allergy.
Did any cheeseheads go out to Bear Island on Sundays just so they could get it out of their system?
They all go up there and they just start peeing.
Hey,
They just
you're a
drop
bad
trout.
island, eh?
Take this there, Jay Cutler.
All right,
Oh,
so here we
he's
have
not
the
there
most
anymore.
important slide in the slideshow.
Yeah.
My wife!
We have a couple of newlyweds hanging out in what else? The Cave of Mounds.
What else?
Cave of the
Good
Mounds.
point. Yeah, what else could this be?
A nice natural limestone cave. It was actually the entrance was exposed when they were mining and blowing shit up. It's just got a lot of interesting mineral formations.
I thought you guys hated mounds and almond joys.
We do.
Whoa!
Good
Nice
callback.
pull, yeah.
I'm a
Spencer's a
fan.
damn listener.
I'm a fan.
You know, guys, I know we're trying to speed this along. This is a tourist attraction? Like, a lot of people go
Yes.
there, you can explore the
Yeah,
cave?
you can get some nice wedding photography done there.
Man, normally when my entrance is exposed, tourists run the other direction.
Nice.
Thanks.
Nice.
Yeah,
Wanna
that
go
was
to the
worth,
next
that
slide?
was worth pausing for.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
on.
Guys,
Oh
I
my
know this. I know
God.
this might be a little cheesy.
Moving on.
Hey, wait, we didn't even acknowledge what that slide
It was cheese. It was cheese. It was pictures of
It
cheese.
was a wall of cheese. There was someone examining it, but then of course we cap it off with Giannis Antetokounmpo dunking over Aaron Baines, in a ferocious fashion. So, a bright future for Milwaukee as long as he's staying there.
The
Very
Bucks-
well could win MVP. Very well could win the Eastern Conference. Maybe the finals one day.
So he's been a great just revitalization of the team because the Bucks were gonna leave Milwaukee and go to Seattle or whoever the fuck else keeps complaining about not having a basketball team, unless they were to build a new stadium because the Bradley Center sucked and was falling apart and was just a piece of shit stadium. So they built the Fiserv for him. And the Bucks last season, which was their last season in the Bradley Center, were 26th or 28th overall in attendance. This season, they're up to 17.
Wow.
Nice.
Because more people are showing up. They just played the Golden State Warriors on Friday, and that was the highest selling merch day in the history of the Milwaukee Bucks in a single day of purchases at a game.
Good for them. I'm glad they can turn the franchise around with the help of a magnificent corporation like Pfizer. And we will not be
Not
censoring their
Pfizer,
name.
Fiserv.
Sorry?
Fiserv. I haven't heard of it either.
Wow, okay. Pfizer.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, I guess
Quick
I
apology.
I was going to plug opiates, but we
No,
can
you
just
can
move
still do
on.
that. Wisconsin
Well,
has a lot of opiate problems.
Well,
does all of America.
speaking of breaking records, we're going to be doing it on this podcast one more time. We still have to get through the touch segment, but let's go ahead and do it. So we're going to go around in a circle, starting with Anthony over here, and we're going to go around this way. We're just going to talk about how Wisconsin has touched our hearts. So, Anthony, why don't you go ahead?
I just want to point out really quickly, I was doing my damn best to get through this one and keep it nice and short and clippy, so I don't think I deserve to be in the penalty box next week.
It's my fault. I wouldn't shut the fuck up.
Well, no, you had
No.
amazing facts,
Yeah,
and
you're
I'm
the
happy
guest.
we got them out. No,
when
seriously.
Stu doesn't sign for the next contract, I'll come in, I'll sign on. With the agreement, I'll go in the penalty box first.
Hold on. I had some really good jokes this week.
Interesting. We'll have our lawyers talk to your
Yeah,
lawyers.
please reach out.
But anyway, back to Wisconsin, the matter at hand. I have never been to Wisconsin, and I'm looking forward to checking it out. I'm very excited to go. I want to go to Milwaukee. I want to check out a Bucks game, and go to some breweries and check out some of that wildlife. That really nice, beautiful, picturesque kind of territory out there. Maybe go to the Apostle Islands and just kind of hike along. I think it's got a lot to offer as a state. It's got, as every single state does, as we're finding out, a dark history, maybe dark in a different fashion because it's pocked with all these killers. But I'm really intrigued by it, and I look forward to going there and having some more beer and cheese.
Spencer.
Wisconsin has touched my heart. And I mean this truly. Had I not been doing improv, I would have stayed. And I would be very happy up there. I was actually a 50-50 shot away from staying there. I was in the last two being considered for a job at the Pabst Theater, an old vaudeville theater that it was converted over to a music venue. And they said that they went with the other person. Had I gotten that job, I would not be here right now.
Wow.
I'd probably still be up in Wisconsin. I love it. I mean, as a kid, I would go up there. I'd go to Door County in the summer with my family. I would go up to Rhinelander with my other family, my camp family. And I went to school there, and it's a beautiful state. All in all, you nailed it on everything. When you go to the Lakefront Brewery or Milwaukee Brewing Company or stop by New Glarus in New Glarus, Wisconsin, if you want to get outside into nature, you only got to drive less than an hour, and then you're just right in the thick of it. It's really and it's the best kept secret in the Midwest because nobody talks about it. Everyone's like, oh, Minneapolis is a cool city. Yeah, I listened to episode 1. Bullshit. Minnesota wishes they were fucking Wisconsin.
Wow.
They fucking wish.
Damn.
Well, look at that. The only so there was a bar in Minnesota that bought 8 kegs of spotted cow and transported them over the border. They got a $20,000 fine for doing it because spotted cow cannot be transferred outside the city of Wisconsin or the state of Wisconsin.
Wow.
Yeah, so they got a huge, and that's happened before too. There was a bar in New York that also got, they were selling spotted cow for like $7 a bottle. Bullshit.
Well, I apologize for my home state.
And
there.
they got binged for something like $20,000. But Wisconsin it's perfect. It's got very, very many flaws. It is not very diverse at all. The whole murderer thing. Not everyone's a murderer, but we just have the one that like ate people and ate their penises. So everybody likes to talk about that guy. And made lampshades out of their faces. That's another fun one. And would make a bodysuit of his neighbor and go dance out under the moonlight.
And was the basis for like several of the most iconic movie villains of all time.
Exactly.
Sure.
So we've got some weird fucked up things going on. And Wisconsin is a state that I think politics still matter up there. They're not a shoe-in for what way they'll swing because they did unfortunately go red in 2016. But they are a major player, becoming a bigger player in the whole of the country, and I think it's only going to get better for the old Dairyland.
Wow.
Stuart.
I'll keep this quick. I just want to say, great state, great teams. Great people, a lot of fun, a lot of laughs, a lot of tears, a lot of tastes, a lot of gags, a lot of gagging, and a big smile at the end.
Okay. To follow that one up, Wisconsin has touched my heart in a couple of different ways. I went up to Sheboygan for a wedding, and it was the first time that I'd ever been in Wisconsin before. And the drive was beautiful. I mean, I got to see the lakefront and with these beautiful, like, white kind of colonial houses all, like, surrounding the lakefront. It was very, very nice. And the wedding was very, very nice. I hope Nicole and I think his name was, like, Vincent or something are doing well. But... yeah, Wisconsin has touched my heart. I love cheese. I love dairy. And thanks for feeding me all this cereal that I've been eating since I was around 6 years old. So, on that note, if you have any questions or concerns about our Great 50 States of the Statesmen, reach out to us on Twitter at StatesmanPod, on Facebook and Instagram at StatesmanPodcast, or by email at statesmanpodcast@gmail.com. Please like and rate us highly on your podcast app, and subscribe, please, and tell all your friends about us. Spencer, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me. I have been a listener since day one. I've been very excited to be on this show. I was actually giddy at work. I left work early just so I can be here. This is like not like so I could be. I left early because I was too excited. I didn't have to leave early to be on time. I left early because I just wanted the day to be over so I could go do this.
Absolutely humble.
Yeah, just giant fan of the show. I love what you guys do. Thanks for having me.
Do you have anything to plug?
Yeah,
I do. So I have my own podcast, as we mentioned, with Kevin Ruth, called Geekout with Spencer and Kevin, available on your favorite podcast app. And check out Sundays in the Swamp, 10 p.m. on Sundays at the IO Theater. Crocodile Nasties is the nastiest team at the IO Theater, 1501 North Kingsbury, Chicago, Illinois. I don't know the zip code. But go check out that. And check out Special Counsel. We have a show that will be over by the time this is out, but hey,
Hopefully putting out some more sketch
good.
and improv material, booking more shit going into the new year. But I do want to just say, and I mean this wholeheartedly, Spencer Rose is one of the best people in Chicago, in comedy, in the world. And Croc Nasties has the best lineup of any IO team I've ever seen, and perhaps it's just because I came up with those people in classes, but I got to see every single member of that cast crush it, and they are just insanely funny, and they demolish, and I hope you just keep getting extended and extended.
Well, thank you.
But I also am a big fan of Geekout. If you need a place to dip your toe in, you could always check out my episode on Oblivion. Perhaps I'll come back someday.
Yeah, you will.
But you could also check out the Shrek episode, which is the overall crowd favorite.
The
I'd
crown
say.
jewel.
But
It
I
just got
also-
unseated last week by Rich Coleman's Simpsons episode.
Rich
So-
Coleman's Simpsons episode is good, and then also I really like the basketball episode with Daryl Monty.
Yeah. The guy's a fountain of information. That was
Seriously.
one where we didn't have to ask any questions. He just kept going. We
Right.
played a trivia game, and before even getting the multiple choice answers, he would answer them. So it completely destroyed our fucking podcast. Fuck that guy. Not talking.
But you came in here and you brought the same level of information about Wisconsin, even though it's not your home state, just a state you have some experience with. So I can't thank you enough, my friend.
Thank you for having me.
All right, well, on behalf of my junior statesman Anthony Rossi and Stuart Highcar, I'm your elder statesman Tim Ferrari. Happy stating.